On today's show,
we discuss Westbrook's insane numbers, the Warriors' winning streak, and Mike Conley's latest injury.
In Crossfire, we debate the teams, players, and storylines no one is talking about.
And Trey Kirby joins us live from Salt Lake City to set up tonight's Rockets Jazz game.
It's Tuesday, November 29th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Taz Millis.
Hello. That'll do.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the stash, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily. And last, certainly not least, joining us live in Salt Lake City, it is the bearded one. Looks like he's about to catch a train, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! TK! Awesome sweater, first off, and I know you haven't been to Utah before. How's Salt Lake City treating you?
Well, Salt Lake City is pretty cold here, Skeets. As you can see, there's snow on top of the train station, so you gotta stay cozy. And what better way to stay cozy than with a fluffy hotel robe?
Oh boy.
Oh,
Just
man.
look at these beauties. I'm usually more of a leopard print guy. This zebra print is just stunning.
Wow.
I thought about stealing one of these, but then I looked up how much they cost. $150 for one of these robes. Just take one from my angry Uncle Bob's house next time I see it.
We
It's
can
expensive.
Yeah, we can expense that.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. I'm stealing two then.
All right, good stuff. All right, Trey, we're going to talk to TK a little bit later in the show, talk to Mike D'Antoni, and we'll get his thoughts as we get ready for that Rockets Jazz game tonight on the network. But seeing as we're just rolling with the three of us here in the studio today, time to play a little Are You in Sync? The rules are very simple. I'm going to hit Tass and Lee with a question. We're going to count them down. They'll fire off their answers at the exact same time, and then, and only then, do we just see how in sync everyone actually is. And we start with Russell Westbrook, who posted another triple-double on Monday night, scoring 27 points to go along with 18 boards and 14 assists in the win over the Knicks. Westbrook now averaging 30.9 points per game, 10.3 rebounds, and 11.3 assists in 19 games into the season. Guys, will Russell Westbrook finish the season averaging a triple-double? Answers in 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Oh, we're torn.
He's
We're
gonna
torn.
do it. This is the year, Lee.
You
This is the
believe-
year it
you believe
finally
it.
happens. I think the rebounds are the only question. I think the assists will come, the points will come. 10 rebounds for a point guard is ridiculous, but this is the year of the focus-driven and a little bit crazy in a good way,
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook. Because Kevin Durant is gone, I think he wants to do everything for this team, and there isn't another person to take away minutes, obviously, or take away shots or opportunities. So when you see him go get monstrous rebounds night after night after night, I don't think it's just a Madison Square Garden thing like we saw last night. The guy's going to get to 10, because otherwise assists and points, it's too easy for him.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I am pulling for it.
Yeah.
I just don't think he can keep it up for the entire season.
It's tough.
Because the rebounds, he would have to average more than about 4 over his career average for the entire season to get that. And that's where I think he's going to run into problems. I think the assists are going to be there simply because the ball's in his hand as much as it is. And the points, obviously, he's going to get that. But at some point, I think he's just going to realize he has to slow down a little bit, conserve some energy, and that means he doesn't have to go and grab every single rebound that's available.
This is pretty fun right now. I mean, he's got 45 career triple-doubles, his 8th already, which is also the combined total of the rest of the league in your Hardens and your LeBrons and so on. And I think we can't lose sight of the fact that he's doing these triple-doubles with the 30 points per game. That's what's sort of mind-boggling. If any guy is just scoring 30 points per game in this league, we're going crazy. He's doing it with the rebounds and assists.
Well,
That's
you mentioned
what's
that
nuts.
because other guys like Jason Kidd have actually come close to averaging
Exactly.
a triple-double, but only by scoring 15, 14 or 15 points. You know, and again, the rebounds has let them down because, again, as a guard, any guard, it's tough to just accumulate that many boards. But like I say, Tass, I hope you're right. I am absolutely pulling for it, but my logic just says I don't think he can do it.
What he also has going for him is currently he would set the record for usage rate.
Right.
He would surpass Kobe Bryant and be involved in over 40% of plays. That's just a lot. He's just around the ball so much, and that ball's got energy. So it gives Russell, I think, that little added energy to get those 2, 3, 4 extra rebounds. This is just the year. This is the goodbye Kevin Durant year, the year he's going to put up whatever it is, some ridiculous numbers, but I think double digits for 3 categories.
He nearly had a triple-double in the first half last night, right? Took 20 minutes total and he gets it, right? Moving on, last night, Golden State extended their winning streak to 12 games by holding off the Hawks. Kevin Durant led the way with 25 points and 14 boards. Stephen Clay scored over 20 as well, and Draymond Green, he made 2 incredible defensive plays down the stretch. All 4 All-Stars rolling for this team. The Warriors are 16-2. Guys, who is the Warriors' MVP? All right, answers in 3, 2, 1.
Kevin Durant.
Okay, we're in sync.
Yeah.
We're in sync. Thanks,
Yeah.
Swaggy Pete. Thanks
There,
for showing
what's
up.
up, Nikki?
Nice t-shirt. All right, you guys both agree it's Kevin Durant.
the right
He's
pick.
basically scoring at his career numbers right now, and he's also putting up more rebounds, putting up more assists. He's shooting the ball at an incredible rate, 57% from the field in total, 62% on 2-pointers alone.
Those are center numbers.
Yeah, he's doing it on the defensive end as well, getting a block and a half and a steal and a half a game. And everything he's doing is just affecting his team in such a positive way. Now, Steph had such a great season last year that he's probably losing a few points because he had an incredible season and he's not matching those numbers. But every time Durant's out on the floor, it looks like the Warriors are just going to go on like a 10 to 12 point run.
I don't know how you can't pick Kevin Durant because on the offensive end, they're both contributing a ton, but Kevin Durant is contributing a little bit more efficiently. And then you go to the other end, and he's contributing a lot on the backboards. You know, career high in rebounds, also career high in blocks, and 1.6 blocks per game. He's just doing what they need him to do. He had a 6-block game, a career high, last week. I feel like he's a monstrous contributor on the offensive end, as we know. But when you can do this so much on the defensive end, he's making a concerted effort to get blocks like that. And the field goal percentage, he said 57, and he's kicking Curry's butt in the 3-point percentage department, which is pretty unheard of. This is exactly what they signed up for. I don't know how you pick Steph, although he creates everything and makes it happen on the offensive end, but the defensive contributions gives KD the edge.
Yeah, the only thing with Curry is he is having the quietest 26, 6-4 with his type of shooting numbers in NBA history because he's on this super team. And now they've got a little defense, and Draymond Green, a big part of that. They're rolling with that now. But it's just, that's how good he is, and this is what happens when you're the 2-time reigning MVP. And then, KD comes to your squad. He seems content, though, to be honest, so sort of taking a little bit of a back seat.
But that's the thing. I don't know if many of us expected Kevin Durant's numbers to stay basically where they were or get better coming over. We thought he was the one who would probably take a little bit of a step back. But instead, scoring the same and then contributing everywhere else, which is what the Warriors really wanted from him.
Yeah, we got 2 of the best offensive players on the planet. And then if KD picks it up defensively, which he has to for this team to be very good.
Right.
And Draymond Green get all the credit. He may win the Defensive Player of the Year, and deservedly so. But KD's contributing.
He's important. All right, final one here, guys. This is sort of unfortunate news. Memphis Grizzlies guard Mike Conley, he's expected to miss 6 weeks with a fractured vertebrae. Conley sustained the injury during Monday's game against the Hornets when he was inadvertently kneed in the back. Now, the Grizzlies are currently sitting in 5th place in the West, but now they're down a starting point guard again. He was obviously riddled with injuries last year. Will the Grizzlies still be in the playoffs hunt by the time Mike Conley comes back? Answers in 3, 2, 1.
Yes. They're
All
going
right.
to do it. They're going to do it. I know it sounds crazy. It does sound crazy. But this team is very, very tough. They made the playoffs last year when they had an NBA record 28 players play on the roster because of those injuries, including Conley missing so many times. But what's more important, I think that Mike Conley is ridiculously tough. You saw a couple of years ago, he had that fracture in the playoffs when they had a chance to beat the Golden State Warriors. He sustained this eye fracture, facial fracture there because CJ McCollum hit with an elbow. He came back after missing only 3 games. He played with that mask on. They took 2 games from the Warriors. They were up 2-1. They maybe win that series if Mike Conley is totally healthy. They couldn't pull it out, and that's when the Warriors go on to win the title. I think Mike Conley, despite my very, very limited knowledge of the medical field, I think he comes back before the 6 weeks because he is that tough.
History actually says that it's going to happen too.
Yeah.
We've seen this type of injury before, not only in the NBA with the NFL, I believe Tony Romo, Cam Newton, and Turkoglu comes to mind. I think Jason Thompson a couple years ago. Those guys did come back before the 6 weeks. Now every injury, I'm sure, with your lower back is different from guy to guy, but I'm with you. He's a tough guy. I could see him back in 3 to 4 weeks. I sort of lean towards Tess too, but you don't buy it.
Well, the only problem is now who fills in the void. You've got Andrew Harrison and Wade Baldwin coming in. And also, when Conley is off the floor, the Grizzlies are very, very bad.
Their net rating falls off the cliff. I think John
Absolutely.
Schumann had a tweet about it. When Conley's out there, they're positive. When he's not, they're a minus 13.8 this year.
Huge difference, and that's going to be the problem for them. You can tread water for a while.
Right.
But after a significant amount of time, and let's say he does miss 4, 5, 6, whatever it is weeks, I think the Grizzlies are just going to find it a little bit too hard to operate. Their offense just won't work the same. Here's the stat you're referring to there from John Schumann. Look at that net rating there. That is just enormously different.
And
So-
this team does have a bunch of other injuries already.
Yeah,
Be it
Chandler
Chandler
Parsons.
Parsons or Brandon Wright and James Ennis and Zach Randolph, unfortunately out right now with the passing of his mother. So they're short on bodies already again.
Yeah, what might save them is the fact that really it's only the Blazers who I think can get into the playoffs
Right.
and replace them. Other than that, you've got the Kings and the
Nuggets,
Denver Nuggets.
yeah.
4 games back of the Grizzlies right now, but a lot of pressure on those teams to make sure they cash in and get those wins. I'm not sure if they can do that. So if the Blazers do pick it up, then it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Grizzlies. The Lakers, another team who we didn't expect to be there, so it could work in the Grizzlies'
Yeah.
favour. I just think Conley's having a career year.
I was going to say, how bummed do you feel for this guy?
The numbers are amazing.
incredible.
He's never made an all-star team. This looked like, hey, possibly because of career years and nearly scoring 20 points per game. The other numbers are there. The Grizzlies are good.
Yeah.
You think maybe this is the year that he gets a Grizzlies
It would have
type
been
of
really
nod.
tough
It
to
still
make
would have been
it
tough.
in the Western Conference. It would have been very
For
tough.
sure.
But that's what Mike Conley is.
Yeah.
He's Ford tough.
We'll see. Hopefully he gets back sooner than the 6 weeks as is being reported right now. We got to take a break. Lots more still to come on the show tonight.
Hey, Nicky!
Good to see you. Great t-shirt, buddy. When we come back, which teams, players, and storylines aren't getting enough attention? It's a special under-the-radar edition of Crossfire next.
Welcome to Crossfire. This is how it works. Lee will give Skeets and me 3 topics. We'll debate each one. At the end of it all, this guy's going to declare a winner. What's our first topic, this guy?
We all know the Cavs and the Warriors are flying right now, but there are 28 other teams in the league. So tell me, what's a team that nobody's talking about? Here we go.
How about the Spurs? They've won 9 in a row. They've won 10 of 10 games on the road. That's where they are perfect. That's unheard of. And they've already beaten the Warriors on the road, where they would have to beat them if the standings stayed as the way they are, and the Warriors are going to finish 1. So why aren't these teams being talked about? Why isn't this guy being talked about in Kawhi Leonard? I just think they're perfect. They lock you up in the fourth quarter. They've got an incredible bench. Once again, they're stacked. A little D improvement, and they're in the conversation with the best teams in the league.
Every year it feels like you do this with the Spurs, though no one talks about them. But I'll pick another team in Texas. I think the Houston Rockets at 11-6, with Patrick Beverley coming back to that lineup too. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. Some good wins. 2 against the Blazers, beat the Jazz by 9, went to Detroit, beat the Pistons. Schumann pointed out on NBA.com the Rockets' new starting lineup with Beverley in the mix is actually even better than that potent offensive was before he came back. So that's huge. They get a little bit of defense with this team. They still have that unbelievable three-point shooting squad. This team's for real and would cause a lot of matchup problems, I think, come the playoffs. So I think people got to be talking about the Rockets a little bit more.
Okay, next one. LeBron, Steph, Russ, and Kawhi are all having great seasons, generating a ton of buzz around the league. But tell me, who's a guy who's flying under the radar? Someone who not everybody's talking about. Here we go.
I'm going to go with Isaiah Thomas. Boston Celtics point guard Isaiah Thomas. 5'9" assassin Isaiah Thomas. Guy is scoring 26 points per game. 6.4 assists as well. Those are both career highs. I understand this guy was an all-star last year, a well-deserved all-star. But he's gotten even better. He's got Allen Iverson texting him at like 8:30 in the morning saying, hey man, you're the real deal. But we haven't been talking about much because I think the Celtics got off to that slow start. They had all the injuries with Crowder and Horford. He's going to be an all-star lock again, and we should be talking about him more.
His three-point shooting isn't getting better. That's below average. That's not good enough. I'll tell you who's shooting
26
way
points
above.
per game, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's shooting way above average. Career highs, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, points, and rebounds, Jimmy Butler. Everybody talked about Wade and
He's
Rondo
good.
going to this team and whether or not this team would function. Well, there's a reason they're functioning. It's because Jimmy is having a career year. He's getting better. He is easily their 1A player. He's calling his own 40-point games. He said before the Lakers games, I'm going for 40, Freddie. Put me in. He got 40. I think he's been special this year. This is a career year. I can't believe the numbers he's putting up.
Okay, last round here. The super team by the Bay or Skeety's Pooper team in New York, Westbrook's triple doubles as well, have all made headlines this season. But what's a storyline that we haven't heard too much about? One that nobody's talking about. Here we go.
2 teams that are underperforming big time, the Kings and the Wizards. They're imploding. I think there's going to be a huge implosion. So why not fabricate a trade to make them both implode together at the same time? Kings, Wizards, huge deal.
What is this?
John Wall has been talking about playing with DeMarcus Cousins, just send him there. Send Markieff Morris there too, just because he causes some problems. It would work great in Sacramento. Sacramento would be willing to give up a ton for John Wall. They've shown that in the past. Rudy Gay wants out. It works on the trade machine. It's fabricated. Let's do it.
We're talking about fake trades all the time, aren't we? I thought that's all we did have the time here. I'm going to go with a story that I'm happy no one's talking about, and that is the reports that the NBA and the Players Association are coming to terms on a new collective bargaining agreement, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. That's great. I don't want to be talking about this or the potential of a lockout, so I love that Commissioner Adam Silver and, of course, Players Union President Michelle Roberts looks like they're going to hash this out. Knock on wood. I don't know where wood is, but we got to knock on, because this is great news. So this is solid. We're not talking about it.
But it's an underrated storyline? I don't get it.
Underrated? It's got nothing to do with underrated.
Spurs, you talk about the Spurs and Jimmy Buckets, you win today.
Interesting stuff. Get off me. We got to take a quick break here, but when we return, Trey talks to Mike D'Antoni about his missing mustache and a whole lot more. Come on back.
Welcome back to the show. We are getting set for NBA TV's Fan Night game. Rockets and Jazz from Utah, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain Time, 6 Pacific. And to cover the game, it's our own Trey Kirby. Trey, what have you been getting up to there in Utah?
Well, I wanted to get some local Utah cuisine, so I went down to P.F. Chang's with my friend and Starters fan, Ryan Kaltenbaugh. And who should we see but Jazz point guard Raul Neto? Yes, the Raul Neto. He was there picking up food. I don't know what kind of food he ordered.
Oh, there he is in the back.
Oh, that's him in the back.
Chang.
Oh, okay.
That's him in the back. I'm guessing he got Chang's spicy chicken. It's their signature dish. But I can report definitively he was sipping on a pop. That's right, Raul Neto, sipping on a pop. It's your Raul Neto scoop of the day.
All right, from Houston's side of things, everyone's been talking about their offense, but you managed to get a little of information from the defensive side of the ball today.
Yeah, before the season, Coach Mike D'Antoni told Zach Lowe of ESPN he wanted the Rockets to finish top 10 in defense. Hasn't quite gone that way so far, so I asked him what kind of improvements they can make on that side of the ball.
We're not going to be the best defensive team out. We just don't have the weapons like other teams do, but we can be good. And I think it's slowly getting in there and guys are reacting instead of thinking. And we've been better in the last game, so hopefully we can still, I'm not saying the top 10 for the whole year now, but let's say the last 10 games going into the playoffs and we make the playoffs, we're a top 10 defensive team. That's what we're going to try to get to.
You got a sincere answer from Mike D'Antoni, telling it like it is right there. Now, last year with the Houston Rockets, you got to talk to James Harden about his beard. No beard today, but you managed to get a little bit more facial hair talk in with somebody else.
Yeah, if you've seen Mike D'Antoni on an NBA court, he's probably had a mustache until this season. So I had to ask him what happened to that stash. Coach, you had a mustache for most of your coaching career.
You took it. I mean,
I have to ask, I saw on Wikipedia when you played in Italy, they called you Il Baffo. Italian for the mustache. What made you finally give it up?
Well, you get to a certain age and you'll find out you just look a little younger without it, and it becomes in handy. You don't feel any younger, but at least I can portray that.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. Guys, I started going gray at 14, so the looking old is coming soon for me. Pretty soon I'm going to be looking like Santa Claus if I don't shave this thing.
Trey Kirby with the scoops from Salt Lake City. All right, Trey, we'll see you on NBA TV tonight. One quick break here on the Stars, and we'll jam some more stuff in, including very solid Hawks with very solid play.
Quick look at last night's pick'em results. Russell Westbrook got another triple-double. Thunder won. So that means Lee and I lost with our Knicks pick. That doesn't really change much because it's down to Lee and I playing for last place here. You don't want it.
Race to the bottom.
You don't want it. It is a race to the bottom right now. We have not been great over the last couple weeks. We'll be doing something weird, embarrassing, something here on the show in early December, whoever is in last. 2 nights left in the month of November. So this is a huge game tonight. It's the Rockets Jazz. It's on NBA TV. And Lee and I disagree. That's the key part. Trey and Lee got the Rockets. Tass and I have the Jazz. Oh, come on, Utah. We can tie this thing up going into the last night.
I heard the Rockets have been good with Patrick Beverley in the
They
lineup.
have. We're not talking about them enough. Where are we going for VSP?
We go to Oakland, but it's a beautiful, gentle boomerang from the Atlanta Hawks here. Check it out, Malcolm Delaney. Beautiful pass to Tim Hardaway Jr. Here it is again. Love these ones that just go through so many defenders. Put your arms up and you'll stop that. That's what I call a very solid play.
Very solid play. Very solid stash. Stash Watch 2016. Lee,
I would listen to that defensive advice with that stash.
you're
Yeah.
almost done, Lee, with this mustache.
Yes.
Couple nights remaining. Donations. Wow, that was a good day for donations.
Great day for donations.
What did you have yesterday? That's like another $1,200 out there.
Something like that, yeah.
Crazy
Yep.
stuff. Go to Movember.com, search for Lee Ellis. Guys, there's like 1 or 2 nights left with this bad boy. That stash is glorious. Please consider giving to Men's Health. This morning, we recorded the Twitter show. We were live on Twitter, had a blast, discussed Draymond Green's Defensive Player of the Year chances, NBA roller coasters, and Tass introduced us to the top 5 power tankings. And here's a small taste.
This week's top 5 are entirely fictional reasons why 5 teams should tank this season. We call them our power tankings. Don't steal that name. Number 5, the Sixers. GM Brian Colangelo, his custom tall Italian collars on his dress shirts, they should be at every draft lottery. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. He was there every year for the Raptors. It just feels like he should be there. And then we'd have a lot of great Sam Hinkie jokes, I'm sure, if they did tank.
So check that out. iTunes, Google Play Music, we got it up on our site. Again, tonight, fan night on the network here, Rockets and Jazz. 9 Eastern, Trey Kirby in the house, so you'll surely see that sweater again here on the network. We got fan signs, Lely.
Ryan Siegel was at MSG last Friday and he put together this sign. Great job, Ryan. Patrick out in Sacramento asks, is this the worst sign ever? Yes, it is, Patrick. Well done.
Oh, not even close.
Rachel out in Charlotte put this one together. It's better than Patrick's. Christine in Oakland, not at the game, but this gorgeous sign from her 2 children there. It was great. Jeremy out in Melbourne, Australia, couldn't get to a game, but did that. Jobber and Mrs. Jobber out in LA put together another great one.
stuff, guys. Keep
Great
those signs
job from
coming.
the Jobbers.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, funky is usually a positive adjective, except when you have a funky taco.
Brace the night, people.